Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 828 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Takamalda, and joining me today, of course, Chris DeBona.
Hello.
Rob Roseboom.
From space.
From space. And you even got a space background. I'm in the Starship Enterprise.
I went super spacey. Yeah. Rob? You're muted, dude. Like in the
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I said I'm still stuck in the lab.
Yeah.
The executive mezzanine was too occupied today.
It's a pretty bitchin' lab, though. That's all I gotta say.
Thanks, man. It's a lot of blinky stuff. I like that.
Das blinking lights.
It's like a veil thing in the
for
background.
our YouTube watchers, for our podcast listeners, we're all just in a void.
I think we know them all by name. They know by now.
That's true. It's true.
Tom, Shane.
Well, our podcast listeners, the listeners, we don't know by name because there are several hundred of those.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's two people who will text me literally in the middle of a broadcast going, "Hey, I'm listening to you." I'm like, cool. So,
well, they're the best too.
They're pretty great. So,
all right. Well, the first story that I on the list is the one I even titled the episode about. Guys, I don't know if you're worried about this as I am, but Canada's strategic maple reserve has hit a 16-year low.
So I was reflecting on maple syrup curing of bacon, and I don't really like it. I don't like sweet bacon. I like good milky bacon. You know?
Yeah, Bob Evans here has one of the options you can get is bacon that's just soaked in syrup. I think.
Yeah, I don't want candied bacon. No, you know, I mean, bacon already has a strong enough flavor that
right.
You really should use it in moderation.
It's good enough without ruining it.
If bacon isn't good enough for you, you got to get off this planet. Go find something else to do.
Well, I mean, there's at least 1 billion people who don't eat any bacon. Just so you know,
they don't dig on swine.
They don't dig on swine. So,
but in Canada,
maybe more than
guys, they're at a 16-year low for their strategic maple syrup reserves, which makes me happy on a lot of reasons. First of all, just the idea that Canada has a strategic maple syrup reserve is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a strategic petroleum reserve. It's one of our big export, and it's for national security. It's the same thing for Canada and syrup.
I also like that it seems like every couple of years there's another story about how this reserve is too low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it makes me wonder who's measuring it.
Who's planting the story? Is it Big Maple?
Big syrup.
Big Maple.
Big syrup.
Big Maple.
Big tapping. So
it's just Jerry. He's up there running it, eh?
Jerry. Is Jerry like a Canadian name?
Yeah, Jerry's up there measuring his syrup.
Oh, he's up there measuring his syrup there.
Yeah,
because
the hockey stick shrinks. The one that he sticks into the reserve to measure.
Yeah, that's probably it. They're probably not accounting for the shrinkage of the hockey stick over the years.
Yeah. So it's like how I read a story, I didn't put it on the zone, but how they're saying in 2029 they might have to add a second to the calendars to account for like rotation of planets or something. Maybe Canada didn't account for the shrinkage of the hockey stick.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I mean, is there like an ANSI standard? Sorry, a world standard, like the kilogram? Is there a hockey stick that's like the standard hockey stick? I think there must be.
It's ISO M4PL3.
Yeah, there you go.
In some places, I've heard they do use a moose to wade through the maple syrup river. And maybe they just got a shorter moose this year.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of my maple syrup having little moose bits.
Oh well, they filter it. They filter it, Chris. It's fine.
The moose or the syrup?
Both.
Oh, okay.
They wipe them down with alcohol swabs before they let them, wade out into the river.
All right, Jerry, get the moose.
I'm thinking about all kinds of bacteria that's going to both eat the syrup and not die, and not be filtered out. So I don't. I guess what I'm saying is I doubt your story about the moose.
Yeah, that might not be real.
It could be.
It's kind of like all the stories of women smashing grapes with their feet always really squicked me out. I'm like, that's a terrible way to make wine. You're getting all the foot crap all over them. Is that what you want?
And it's sexist. Men have bigger feet generally.
That's a feature, not a bug.
Is it?
Get a little extra yeast from your feet down in that.
Yeah,
makes better wine.
There's a whole section on WikiFeet about that.
Oh, it's so gross, dude. Yeah, that was one of those things I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. Nope. We're a modern society. We don't have to go back to the old ways like those Star Trek planets that refuse to adopt technology.
I don't know. I'm aboard the Enterprise, and I think that the prime directive is that we have to respect their cultures.
Thanks, Kirk. When you're making out with them, sure.
Kirk wasn't so much about the prime directive. That's more of a Picard thing.
Yeah. Was the prime directive brought out in the original series?
It's not referred to explicitly by that name.
It was a latter day 80s add-on,
But they do have like
absolutely
reference to
address it. Yeah, they address that they're not supposed to interfere with other cultures.
Okay.
Which of course they do in like 30% of all episodes.
Yeah, at least.
All right, we've got I think that dating apps, this story, Rob, I think that this is actually they're trying to make peace.
I mean, it's a good way of doing it, right?
Wait, who's making peace? The Lebanese?
So dating apps their GPS is messed up. So they're trying to make love connections between the Israelis and the Lebanese.
That's actually a really funny unintended consequence.
Make love, not war, baby.
Yeah.
Jamming the GPS, and it goes both ways. They have interviews with people on both sides talking about, I'm just getting all kind of Israelis now, and Israelis, I'm matching with Lebanese, and the Israeli guy is kind of funny. He's like, I hope that war ends soon so I can meet some of these people.
Yeah.
Sexy singles in my area need dates.
They talk about Tinder, but it's really about Hinge, or whatever the gay one is. It's like everyone's secretly gay.
Plumper?
Who's secretly gay? They're trying to
Grinder.
Grinder. Thank you. Yeah, I've been off the market a long time.
Recently that there's a calculator app that's actually a front end for a gay dating app, and like that's a thing that's like known. Like so sometimes like that's like a thing that like is on parents' like heads up, look for a calculator app.
Is it like the litter box story or something, or maybe. Is it real?
I hope it's real.
I'll look at gay app.
Probably a little
dating calculator. Love calculator. I'm gonna sneeze. You can go on to the next story or talk more about this.
While you sneeze, and Rob and I will talk about the homeowner that found a house built on his lot, on her lot.
Yeah, this happened in Hawaii. So this lady lives in California, bought this plot of land.
Yeah,
was going to turn it into like a refuge meditation place. She didn't get out there for a while because of reasons.
COVID.
And when she went out there, she found there's a $500,000 house built on their property, and now they want her to pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
And
so the developers are suing everyone, and her and the construction company and the previous owner of the property. It's just like, I think what they're doing is they're like, well, we'll sue everybody and see if we can get away with it. It's like, what are you doing? You're gonna lose. That said, the construction company, it's like, I mean, y'all have done remodels and bought houses and stuff. You don't by accident drop it on the wrong lot.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not a thing. So the orders from the developers were, yes, we want houses on every lot. Not like this one little Keystone lot, this little Spite House lot.
Spite House.
It's like, what were they doing?
Yep.
It's just incompetent. I'd say this gal is going to get a free house.
I hope so. I hope so for her sake.
And the property developers are going to eat it.
I mean, best case scenario for everyone involved maybe is that they just jack the house up and haul it away. Although I imagine there's some issues with that in Hawaii. I imagine that is much, much more difficult to do than on the mainland.
I don't know. I mean,
property law in Hawaii is weird. They only allow you to buy property if you're like a tech billionaire.
This is in Pune.
Well, I mean, just logistically wise too. There's a finite number of semi trucks and heavy equipment on any of those islands. True. That
Okay, so this is on. Oh, this is Kona.
You want to close the ad for whatever beauty insiders we're currently staring at?
Yeah. So this is in Kona. Yeah. So I mean, they don't have a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
They even have a Costco. I don't even know. It's like, yeah, it's funny. One of our neighbors has a property on. Is this? Where is this? It's Waimea. Okay, yeah. Yeah, one of our neighbors has a property on the same island here, Big Island, you know. And she's been having a hell of a time just getting stuff built. It's really expensive.
I imagine.
You know?
I imagine.
Well, I hear that there's a house on the market, Chris.
Yeah. Probably going for a pretty good price if you're willing to put up with a decade of lawsuits.
Yeah, right.
Read any good books lately, either of you?
That's a good question.
Maybe
Not
ones
as
that
good
need
as this.
rebinding? Ones that need rebinding?
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I have this weird rash that's about the shape of a book binding, you know.
Well,
Klaatu Virata Niktu.
Yeah, right.
time to
Destiny's de la Mai.
to recover your favorite Richard Scarry book as a child.
So
Harold and the Purple Crayon, made out of real purple crayon boy.
Yeah. Made out of real Chris skin.
I mean, Harvard said Boulon took the skin from a deceased female patient in a hospital where he worked without consent.
Yeah. So they're gonna, I know they haven't decided what they're gonna do with the remains, but they're going to do whatever they feel is most appropriate for burying the book skin. I don't think they could figure out if there's family members still involved, so I don't know if they're gonna put like a little, you know, you're driving down the highway, sometimes you see a little cross someplace. Maybe they just put that on a special part of campus, which later becomes haunted, of course.
Of course. There's a little shrine on the way to your boat, Rob, on the road there.
Yeah.
And like I always feel a little sad, but maybe they could put it right next to it.
Right.
Then I wouldn't have to feel sad twice. So I'm saying one unified sadness for the skin and for whatever tragic accident happened in that intersection.
So this is a very Harvard sentence. In the past, Harvard students employed DePage collections to the library were subject to a hazing ritual where they asked to retrieve the book without being told it was covered with human remains.
Yeah.
That seems like a good prank that you could get away with.
And when they figured out it was
50s.
human remains, good news for fans of anthropodermic bibliomaniacs and cannibals alike. It's like, well, yeah, that sense of humor there, Harvard. Huh? That's not going to come back and haunt you.
Well, okay, so how long does it take before something like that becomes funny?
I mean,
it's been centuries.
Well,
it's been
according to
centuries.
them, if you read the second paragraph in the bottom, it says it now regrets the sensationalist, morbid, and humorous tone in which the discoveries announced. So it's already passed into humor for some people.
All right, but so it actually got humorous because they used it for pranks.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, good. Thank you.
There it is.
Let me screenshot the book.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have that for the YouTube thumbnail.
This looks different than the edition I saw.
Oh, really? The one you bound yourself?
Maybe this was the second or third edition.
Yeah.
What is the book about? I know that sounds weird, but Destinies of the Soul. Well, I mean, I guess the destiny was to be a bookbinding for some weirdo.
On the other hand, I guess you could put that in your will. Like, I will my skin.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just tips on how to use all parts of the cadaver, you know, like making spoons out of bones and
it's a prequel to Poor Things.
Yes. Yeah.
It has like people have written poems about this book. It's very weird. I just want to know what the book is about. It's a poetry compilation.
That actually kind of seems appropriate in a super messed up
way.
I mean, at that
point,
point,
it's either poetry or cannibal cookbook. I mean, those are your two options.
How to Surf Man.
Yeah.
Just soak the book, eat it.
I mean, there is the question of why should we accept as wrote that it's wrong to bind a book with human skin when we have unending, sheepskin and
I have leather skin books. I mean,
leather skins booked. I mean, it's just human leather. Come on. I'm not really a religious person, so a lot of people, probably take offense, but it's just, there's not a person in it anymore. Who cares?
Yeah, it's just meat.
It's just meat,
it's
baby.
Just meat. Oh, that's disgusting.
Well, let's keep going. So a Nigerian
we got a story about tomato puree.
So what happened in this case? Was this a Rob story or a Rob story?
This is definitely a Rob story.
So they have this law about what you can say in Nigeria
sure.
online.
Because, there's never been someone in Nigeria lying.
Right. And there's never been anything messed up in Nigeria as far as the internet goes.
Yeah.
Anyway, she wrote a review that she didn't like this tomato paste, and the company is suing her now under it, and she faces possible criminal charges.
Criminal charges? Jeez. Why you in? I killed a guy. Why you in? Bad review on about tomatoes.
Said bad stuff about Coke.
Don't mess with Big Tomato.
Wow. Listen to this statement from the tomato company. We want to use this medium to appreciate and thank all patriotic Nigerians for the patronage, trust, and confidence they have disposed on all Risco Foods products since inception. In fact, we are indeed very grateful, and we urge you to continue to patronize Made in Nigeria as the only way Nigerian economy will recover faster. I mean, they're taking a lot of credit for a bunch of tomatoes. That's all I'm going to say.
They wrapped it up in a nationalist speak so that, people will be extra mad.
It is within our constitutional right and our last resort to protect and defend the company, the brand reputation built over 40 years and over 3,000 staff working in the company, when we discovered that the leader of the syndicate went beyond product review and was castigating, oppressing, and bullying our product online. And even less than our product.
Wait until they figure out that Yelp exists. They're going to lose their shit.
I mean, on one side, I don't mind people saying, listen, if someone's going around saying that the tomato mix came alive and is, attacking people, especially young people, through their forks when they're eating spaghetti. It's like at some point you can say, okay, how about you shut the fuck up? But
I think the bigger problem here
is a lot of words for
how
she defamed us, we went after her.
Chris, how is this going to impact the Nigerian strategic tomato puree reserve?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question.
That's the real question here, because the government has like a lot of investment in that.
Go back. What did they say happened on September 29?
Here we go. Thank NAFDAC for promptly explaining in their post on Friday, September 29, 2023, that sugar is added to these products. Sugar. Basically, but I'm limited to mass bitterness, preservative, and flavor, as well as improving tax.
They should work together with Canada, and then they can use the Canadian maple syrup to sweeten
tomatoes.
This is like 1,500 words, right?
Oh, it's 5 words.
Why? It's okay that they're suing this lady?
Yeah, I say she defamed us. We're going after her.
Right.
That's how it goes.
She mocked our tomatoes.
And was it a syndicate? Was there like 14 people trying to blackmail Risco?
Yeah, that's 13 paragraphs.
That's a lot of words. And no pictures. No pictures at all.
Signed by the management.
Yeah, not a graph.
Yeah, no name. Like signed management. That's awesome.
Management.
That seems really ominous.
Right?
And
they're a member of the Risco Bond Pet Group. What is the Risco Bond Pet Group? I want to see what else they make. Okay, here we go. Tomato paste. Tomato paste. And looks like tomato paste. They're really leaning into the tomato paste. And they have other things. They have curry flavored tomato paste and seasoning cubes. They have like broths, Tomato paste. Wow. Very delicious. Anytime, any day. I love Risco Foods Limited. Wow.
Well, the last one we got on the list is, you might remember a few weeks ago, we had a story that
same quality. Sometimes when people like have slogans for their companies, I'm like, does that say to you what you want it to say? Like tomato paste, same quality as what? As tomatoes? As other tomato paste brands? As other tomatoes? Do they have like a high end and a low end range of tomato paste?
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just concerned about their curry cubes.
Whoa. Why? I mean, they're clearly curry flavor.
I've heard things. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get.
You don't want to get sued
for Risco mad at you.
Yeah. I don't want them to, come and take me in the middle of the night and bring me to Nigeria.
What's tomato mix versus tomato paste?
Tomato mix?
Yeah, tomato mix here.
Oh, that sounds weird.
I mean, it's tomato mix.
Sure.
Look at how happy the tomato is.
Oh, well.
Is that a cannibal?
Sure, it's fine.
It's a cannibal tomato. It's tomato.
It's tomato mixed with whatever happens to be around the factory at the time.
It's 100% natural. It's new and improved.
Yeah.
Wait.
Everything they found outside.
Yeah.
I heard that Arisco's quarterly reports are actually bound in tomato skin.
Using tomato ink. Yeah. Who we are. I mean, they're proud of their work, and I get that, but
they should be. Look at those bags and colors.
Seafood. Yeah, but I mean, same quality.
That little freaky tomato guy.
Look at him. He's thumbs up.
He's so happy. He loves their tomatoes.
What's funny is half of him or half of his friend is sitting next to him. He's like,
no,
yes,
that's an enemy. That's why he's so happy.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, so a few weeks ago we talked about the first guy who had Neuralink, Elon Musk implant in his brain. The good news is that now we actually know what he looks like, and apparently he used it to play Civ 6. So I guess
makes
one of
perfect
us.
sense. He's one of us. He's probably a subscriber to the podcast.
That's right.
No, he's probably not. But still,
that seems unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is great. So my worry is that will he? Did he choose to get this because he didn't have long to live? You know what I mean? Did he choose to be an experiment because he was terminal? Right.
I assume that this was like you don't got a better choice.
Well, I mean, that's the only way that they would be approved.
That's the only way you trust Elon Musk really with anything.
Well, I mean, if you're going to die anyway, you might as well be a pioneer, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a legit thing. And it's actually there's a path in the USDA, the FDA, whatever the hell it's called, Food and Drug Administration, and for if they're gonna die, you might as well try. This came up during the AIDS crisis where they were like, well, let's try some of these drugs. And they're like, no, you might die. And they're like, I'm dying. Just, so.
I could be wrong on this, and don't quote me on this, internet, but I read a list of like good things that Trump did during his administration. Apparently he pushed through some legislation that was like to allow.
Yeah, it was even more around COVID.
Like just let us test stuff. Like we want to bleach our lungs and stuff. But I think there's probably legitimate reasons that people want to science that.
Well, I mean, the mRNA medicines, there was no analog for them. So, yeah, they had to accelerate the testing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's just too bad it was Neuralink and not like a big cyber fist. Or an integrated flamethrower or anything else. That
yeah. Like, why didn't they tie him into a Dodge Charger
or a Wolverine style adamantium
or a big handle truck,
or just a big hammer hand.
Like there was that Killdozer story a couple days ago, where the two dozers were going up against each other because one dozer was going crazy, and so they had another dozer driver come and like knock him over. And I'm like, maybe he could have been driving that second dozer. Just saying.
Could be.
I mean, I like Civ. Don't get me wrong.
It's good. Well, Civ 6 is that really the best Civ? But I'm not going to quibble.
Don't judge your Civs.
Yeah.
All Civs are good. All right, guys, let's say goodbye to the internet. We've done it.
Later.
See you, Chris DeBona.
Bye.
Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
I was Rob Commander Taco Malta. That was episode 828 of Geeks in Space. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.